Welcome back, everyone. Another video here at Seb's Garage. Got a fresh cut, feeling great, and I got a new exciting product that I've been working on for a long time, and I'm really pumped to show you all. So let's get into it. All right, what we've got here today is the GD3 first generation Honda Fit rear wiper delete kit. So this consists of a couple components, which is the actual plug for the trim piece, and this is contoured to fit the curvature of that piece. We've got the backing plate, which holds it in place, the bolt, which holds both of these together, and then this is the seal for the sheet metal on the trunk itself. Installation is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. If you've watched the rear handle fix video, pretty similar to that. You're gonna need a trim removal tool of some sort, 10 millimeter. I'm going to use a combination of hand tool and power tool for this one, just to make it a bit easier. And then some sort of a pick. You don't have to have a fancy snap-on one. You can buy some $2 Harbor Freight ones. Aren't necessary, but it does help with the electrical connector for the wiper motor. So let's go ahead and get to the car, and I'll show you how this works, what it looks like, installation tips and tricks, and all that. First thing we'll be doing is coming here to the trunk of the car. And the wiper arm has a little plastic cover, and beneath that cover is a 10 millimeter nut that's holding that in place. So if you just come up to the side and lift the corners up, this whole plastic cover will come undone, and you can remove that. Behind it is a 10 millimeter, which will be removed. Once you've removed that bolt, you'll want to give this a couple of smacks, lift up the blade, and this whole wiper arm should come off pretty easily. If your car is a Midwestern crusty vehicle like my other Fit, it might need a little bit more convincing. You could grab a rubber mallet or something to smack it with instead of your hand if you need to put a little bit more force behind it, but it should come off without too much fuss. Once you've got a wiper armless trunk, we'll pop her open and remove the two clips holding the trim panel. One of mine is missing, but these have a little push tab in the center of them, and that's where your pick tool will come in handy. After you've removed your two panel clips, you'll want to remove the handle for the trunk. It's got two tabs up in here, and you basically need to bend those down to then be able to pull this out. Once you've got your handle removed, you'll want to grab your panel removal tool and work your way around the entire liner for the tailgate and get that out of the way so we can gain access to the wiper motor. I like to start in the corners here, and you'll be able to hear the popping. Like that. And that. And work your way all the way around and get this panel out of here. Once your panel's out of the way, you'll have access to your wiper motor. You'll have to undo this electrical connection and these three bolts right here. So I'll do the electrical connection first, and then we'll follow up by doing those three bolts. When removing this electrical connector, the pick does help. You can put it in the little slot right here and pry the tab open and remove the connector. Once you've got the three bolts out, you can wiggle the motor out of the tailgate just like that and set that aside with the rest of the components. Now this next step is very important. There is a grommet here, a rubber grommet, where the shaft of the wiper motor went against. You'll want to remove that entirely so that the new seal can be put in place. Once removed, this is what the hole will look like, and this is the grommet that we won't be needing anymore. Next, you'll grab the 3D printed beauty plug, and you'll see that it's got an arrow printed into it. That will be pointing up, and there will also be a seam from the 3D print that is pointing down. This is not a perfect, 360 dome. It does have a bevel to it, so it is very important that the arrow points up and the seam points down when you're installing it. It is a pressure fit, so you'll come over here. Make sure your arrow is pointing upwards, and push this into your trim panel. If the plug was installed correctly, the bolt hole for it should line perfectly with the hole in the trunk. The next step will be to grab the acrylic backing plate, and you're going to put it right in here behind the plug. The curve to it will point towards the Honda logo. If you need to, you can come inside the trunk and remove a couple of the plastic clips that are holding that trim piece in place to give you a little bit more room to install the acrylic backing plate. Here you can see that the acrylic backing plate is installed and the holes line up for the bolt to go in place. Next up, you'll grab the supplied bolt, and you want to do this with hand tools because the printed threads are plastic. So you'll want to get this in there, and you want to tighten it enough so that it holds it in place. And remember, it is a friction fit, so it doesn't need a whole lot, just enough so it doesn't vibrate out, but not enough to strip the plastic. So be careful, don't tighten it too much, and use the shortest ratchet possible that you have in your tools. And there you see that the bolt is installed, and both the backing plate and the beauty plug are in for good. Next up, you'll grab your seal, and you'll go into the hole right here, and you want to install this from the outside. Now, you don't have to use silicone, but it is a good idea. The seal here, or the sheet metal, has a little bit of a divot at the bottom, and it does help seal that a little bit better. My trunk has a tiny bit of surface rust from the factory seal, so I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, but you can go like that and press it in, and then pop the trunk and make sure the seal is in 100%. Here you'll see that the seal is nicely placed all the way around the ring, and if you can see that little bit of surface rust there, that is a good spot to seal with some extra silicone just to ensure no water is leaking inside of your trunk. Once you finish the work with the trunk, we can install the plastic panel back in place and get this all wrapped up. And just like that, you've installed the Seb's Garage rear wiper delete kit for the first generation Honda Fit, aka a GD3. Yes, I know my car is disgustingly dirty. I'm actually doing a detail and a lot of vinyl revamp this off season. So that's why it's been disgusting, on top of there being a lot of snow and then a lot of rain and a lot of crap out on the roads, and just overall the car, you know, sitting around and getting gross. So excuse me for that. The car will be getting prettied up before this year's race season, so be on the lookout for that. But these kits will soon be on the website. It's going to start out as a pre-order. They are made to order, and they do take a little bit to make just because they are 3D printed with a high temperature, UV resistant material, which is ASA, which is actually what a lot of factory car interiors are made of. It's an upgraded version of ABS plastic. So be patient. I know I'm going to get a lot of orders to start with. I've had a lot of people comment about wanting this kit to be done. So they will be on there shortly. It'll be a pre-order at first, and then I'll be making orders as they come in. But yeah, I'm really excited to release this, and I will be having a GE8 version coming up in the future. I am hoping to have a GE8 of my own by the end of the year. And when that happens, I will start making all sorts of stuff for them. So be patient. It is coming. So that is it for this one. I, once again, am really excited to have this product out. I think it's going to be one that people have been excited about the most. And I told myself I was going to release 10 new products this year. We're well on our way. I've got the new vanity plates. I've got the wiper delete now. I've got some new merch coming up very shortly, as well as some other bracketry I've been working on. The shift paddle kit for the automatic GD3s is just about to release. So it's going to be a great year. We're going to put out a lot of product, and I'm hoping that you all like it and are excited about it as much as I am. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.